everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rukneet and today I am updating on my Panda palette for this month. I'm really excited to share my progress with you because I have made really substantial progress. But before we get into that, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make a lot of panning videos. I am doing this project in collaboration with Fantastic Ladies. It's a Facebook group and for this year, the theme is Kicking It Old School. In the theme of Kicking It Old School, you gotta pick a palette that is relatively older in your collection. So I decided to go ahead with the oldest palette that I have right now, which is my e.l.f. Summer Breeze palette. I already had pan in all of the eyeshadows when I started this project, and my goal is to finish all of those eyeshadows. Without further ado, let's go over what my palette looked like last month and what my goals were. So this is how my palette looked like last month, and I wanted to focus on these two eyeshadows. I wanted to use both of them 10 times each at least, and my overall goal for this palette was to use all eyeshadows at least 5 times. And this is how my palette is looking like today. Just look at all of those pans. They are super big and I cannot believe that it already looks so much well used. I'm gonna put comparison pictures here and let's go over each shade. I'm also going to hold this palette right here. So for the first shade, I used it a total of 15 times and you can see the pan has expanded a bit. Another plane. I think the filming gods are like, no, we're not gonna let you film. The next eyeshadow, I used it 7 times. The pan on this has expanded as well. And this eyeshadow, I also used it 7 times. And you can see the pan on this one has expanded too. So both of these eyeshadows, they are really thin from the edges, or not from the edges, but throughout the pan. That's why 7 uses expanded the pans on both of these eyeshadows. Lot. Moving on to the warm pink shade, this was my focus shade last month and I cannot believe, because we started with a really tiny pan and I was able to use it the total of 12 times and the pan is humongous. And so as the next eyeshadow, this was my focus as well, and this is what I'm wearing in my eyebrows. So I wore it in my eyebrows every time I did makeup. So I used it a total of 23 times and the pan on this one has expanded as well. Really excited about that. And the next shade, I surprisingly used it 11 times and there is some sort of movement going on in there, and so as in the next eyeshadow, which I managed to use 10 times. And the pan has started to grow like in the downwards direction. And for this purple shade, I used it a total of 11 times. It does take a little bit building up, so that's why I was able to like get such a good progress on this one. And the dark brown shade, I used it 11 times. And the black shade, I used it 12 times as well. These are the shades that are not showing a lot of progress, but I'm not using like a lot of eyeshadow whenever I reach into these two guys, and that's why the progress is slow. But overall, I am really happy with my progress. So I started logging usage on this palette in 2020, and I'll put a picture of total number of uses till date. That would include the total number of uses in this project plus all the previous uses. But again, I don't have any uses number prior to 2020 because I never logged my uses and I wasn't aware of project panning at that time. And I got this palette in 2017. And I'm having so much fun using my eyeshadows because I have mostly shimmer shades in my pan those eyeshadows, and I am also like focusing on shimmer shades in my project Level Up. These are all the mattes, those are shimmer, so I can like pair these guys together, and that's what I do like all the time. I always reach for these eyeshadows, like any of these eyeshadows, every time I do my makeup, and that's the reason I'm not even getting bored of using this palette, because I know I'm gonna be getting like different looks based on the shimmers I'm pairing them with, and also I pair them with like mattes in those palettes as well. I am really enjoying this, and let's pick our goals for next month. As always, my overall goal for this palette would be to use each shade at least 5 times. And it's time to pick our focus shades. For the month of April, I would really like to focus on these two eyeshadows. Even though I was able to reach for them 10 times this month, I just want to make sure that I am using them because these are like the slow movers in this entire project. I mean, except for these two. But yeah, I would really like to see what kind of damage I can do on these two eyeshadows right here. That is all I had to share with you guys regarding this update. I hope you enjoyed this update and thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching my video. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.